Hey, I'm John. Welcome to Mr. G's Workbench and the fourth and final part of our build review of the Kitty Hawk SH-60F Ocean Hawk. If you recall, when we left off at the end of episode 3, we had this. We had that. We had the fuselage finished. And we're like ready for assembly of the folded main rotor. That's going to be a lot of great fun. So I'll show you what I've found online because the directions don't help you out at all. And hopefully we'll get it assembled, we'll get it painted, we'll get the little bits and pieces on, and we'll be done with this this fine kit once and for all, alright? Before we get started, quick shout out to Jim over at Kitmaker for providing the kit we've been looking at. The link to the Kitmaker family of websites is down below in the details. Be sure to go and stop in and show Jim some love there, alright? And without further ado, let's jump into the rest of this build. So here's the main rotor already assembled. We discussed this previously. I'm going to link to the correction page that shows you how to fix this rotor. Some of these arms are molded backwards, and in the directions, I don't know who did it, so if I find out, I'll give them credit. There's directions that tell you how to cut these and rotate around the two that you need to fix this. When you go to put this on the helicopter, you'll notice there's these wheel looking things, and then you've got these pointy things. I don't know what any of that stuff is called, but you want this oriented where this is going forward like that way. You got the two pointy things are going to be at the front pointing at each other. The two at the back are pointing away from each other. The wheels are facing in here and the wheels are facing away from each other at the front. So that's what you're going to need to start. And the next thing we're going to try to do is we're going to have to install the blade holders on the helicopter, and then we can start trying to get the blades set up properly. So let's take a look. So I've started to assemble these blade holders, these brackets that go into the two holes we drilled earlier in the process. I just went ahead, I painted these Tamiya red. I'll weather them a little once they're in. I installed the bottom halves of the brackets that'll hold the blades, and now we just have to get these glued in with a little bit of CA. We've got the taller rear bracket and the shorter forward bracket. So let's get those put in. The next thing you need to take a look at before you start installing the blades is the fact that you've got two blades when you orient them properly. They're all oriented in the same direction. You have two blades where the pegs are facing up to locate them and two where the pegs are facing down. The two with the downward facing pegs are going to be the rearward blades that rest on the higher rear blade holders. The ones with the pegs sticking up go on the two front sections. They're going to be on the lower blade holders towards the front. So let's take a look and get these oriented. So here's what I was talking about with now here's one with the peg on the bottom facing up. This one is supposed to go in this lower forward section here. So just to give you an idea, it'll go like that. All right, let me see if I can somehow get this attached. Apologies for not showing more of this. A really obnoxious assembly. Back to what I had said earlier, the forward blades, the pegs are facing up. So using the two blades with the pegs facing up to keep all of them oriented in the same direction. Once I got the blade in with the peg located in the hole in the wheel looking assembly here, I balanced it on the blade holder. I went and I did the other one. I got that one in. I highly recommend using CA glue because you're going to want it to set right away. You can see the fit isn't terrific here. I took what I could get. I'll come back once this all solidifies. I'm going to let this sit overnight. I'm going to come in and putty and sand and try to clean up these assemblies here. These two were the worst to do. The two back ones are the ones where the pegs point down. So they're a lot easier to do. Just keep everything oriented. The blade on this side, the peg in the left fork goes into the hole. Here it's the peg in the right fork goes into that hole. And then the same thing. I installed the other half of each of those blades from underneath. The ones here are on top, as you can see. The same drill. The fit wasn't great. I had to do a lot of cutting and sanding to get these extra pieces to fit. How they're going to look in the end, I suppose if you're into this and you really want a show quality build, you can go in and add all the various wiring and cabling that goes with this. I'll show you a picture that I had that I used as a reference. So again, for me, this is as good as I think I can do with this. Tomorrow I'll come in. Like I said, I'll sand and putty and try to clean up the joints and make this look a little more presentable. In the meantime, let me go ahead and build the tail rotor. Okay, we've got the build finished. Let me give you a closer look at the completed Ocean Hawk fuselage, and I'll give you some closing thoughts on the kit. Overall, you know, I hate to kind of lump things into the same category, but it's a typical Kitty Hawk kit. Start off with the instructions are horrendous. You really got to pick them, you know, point by point. You have misprinted pages that you have to go online and find the corrections for. There are no instructions given at all for the folded rotors. So that was another one you had to go look for. You know, the paint callouts and stuff are questionable. So overall, the instructions, hard pass on the instructions. You're basically on your own for about 75% of the build. So, you know, that being said, once you get past that, the mold quality for the parts themselves is good. The problem with most Kitty Hawk kits, and continues in this one, is the tolerances of the parts. There is zero tolerances. One mistake will just cascade onto the next step and onto the next step after that. And I had my fill of that here. I had a few parts where you know, I thought I had done a good clean job, and then in later steps, you know, found that I had to fix things and try to get them to look right. Parts wouldn't fit together. So there's that. Like I said, you leave out, for a correct F model, leave out the large sonobui dispenser behind the radar operator seat. That's not there. Instead, it's a small, like 6-pack looking dispenser, which is towards the front, right behind the pilot and co-pilot seats. That's the one you want to use. There's later reference to it on the outside in the instructions when they're telling you what detail parts to put in, so that's there. I like the look of it. You know, I hate to say it, it looks like an Ocean Hawk. But again, the other problems with the parts were, even if you get to the point where you want to fold the main rotor, part of the main rotor assembly was molded incorrectly. You have to literally saw parts apart and reverse them to do it. I provided that, a link to those instructions in the details, I believe in the description in part 2. It's in one of them. If you go back and look at each part, you'll find in the description of one of the videos I put all the links to all the corrections for the instructions. I'll repost them at the end of this one. I think I still have them. So yeah, that was an issue. Parts fit in terms of the big side view mirrors that go on either side of the cockpit. They were molded, not that great. A lot of the detail there was soft. The windshield wiper arms seemed kind of thick, but I used them. The main rotor, once you get past having to fix parts and saw them and correct it, I mean, it doesn't look that bad. I used a little bit of putty to fill in some gaps, that painted the whole thing gray and weathered it. I mean, it looks pretty much accurate to me. The whole issue is getting those rotors installed on the rotor head, getting the brackets, this is if you're folding the main rotor, and then getting the brackets installed so that you can actually locate everything and then paint it and do what you got to do. So, you know, that was kind of an issue. The decals are typical Kitty Hawk. Again, I'm sorry, they're very mediocre. They don't respond that well to setting solution. I don't know what it is. Some of their kits, the decals seem to be much better than others. I don't know if it's their vendors that they use for each one or what. But yeah, these didn't set that well. I kind of knew that coming in, so I was really hitting them with setting solution, using a hair dryer to try to get them to conform to, you know, the rivet patterns and stuff. They're as good as they're going to get. Kudos to them in terms of, I like the paint schemes they give you. They always give you the eye-catching ones. The one I did, I kind of feel was different even from all the other Navy versions. So I'm happy with that in the sense that it's different. So overall, would I buy this kit at 120 bucks? If I was if I was a big naval aviation fanatic, I'd probably spring for the 120. Now that Kitty Hawk is folded, you go on eBay and stuff, they want like $180 in some places for these kits. Like, nah, I would take a hard pass at $180. Even at 120, I have to give it some serious thought. I mean, granted, it's the only game in town. I'm satisfied with what I got in the long run. So there you have it. Draw your own conclusions. Let me know if you've built this kit or any of the UH-60 or SH-60 kits from Kitty Hawk. Let me know down in the comments how you felt about it, how yours came out, what you thought of the build overall. Let me know what you think of my build. I'm always open to critique. I like to hear what other people say. That's the only way I learn what I'm doing. So let me know. If you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. In either event, I hope you'll leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, as I said. Last thing before we go, we're up over 1,180 subscribers. Thank you one and all. As always, I appreciate you stopping in, and we all get together and share this hobby. So thank you again. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you'll consider it. It looks like about 80% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. So, take it for what you will. Take a look at my library of videos. If you like what you see, then give me a chance, all right? So until the next time we get together, thanks for stopping in. Stay well and take care.